Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really profound philosophical concept drawn from some fascinating source material. We're looking at the fundamental ideas of purpose, design, and how humanity actually goes about figuring out its place in the cosmos. Now, don't worry, we aren't going to get bogged down in heavy theological terminology right out of the gate. Instead, we're going to look at this through a highly logical, almost structural lens. Basically, if the universe has a purpose, how on earth are we supposed to figure it out?
Section 1. A device without a manual. The complexity of existence. Okay, let's dive right into this. Picture this. You just bought the absolute latest, most highly complex piece of technology on the market. You get the box home, you rip it open, you pull out this sleek, incredibly intricate gadget, and there is literally zero paperwork inside. No QR code, no quick start guide, no instruction manual whatsoever. What do? I mean, we've all been there with some complicated piece of tech or even flat pack furniture, right? It is a universally frustrating experience. You're left staring at this absolute marvel of engineering, completely in the dark about how to actually use it.
So, what usually happens next? Well, through sheer trial and error, you might manage to figure out how to turn it on. You press a few buttons, maybe a light flashes, maybe it hums to life. Awesome, you've achieved basic function. But our source material makes a really critical distinction here. Just figuring out how to turn something on is radically different from understanding its true intended purpose. Without the manufacturer's guide, you might end up using a supercomputer as a very expensive paperweight. You completely miss its ultimate design, its hidden features, and its true capabilities. You are literally just scratching the surface of what it was built for. Now here is where the source takes this highly relatable micro-metaphor and scales it up to a massive cosmic level. Think about the human body. Think about the delicate balance of our ecosystems, the laws of physics, the sheer, staggering complexity of life itself. If a simple kitchen gadget or a smartphone absolutely requires an instruction manual from its creator so you can use it properly, doesn't life itself kind of demand one? It's a pretty compelling logical challenge. If we accept that existence is complex, it stands to reason that we can't just guess our way into understanding its ultimate function.
Section 2. Life's need for an interpreter. Decoding the ultimate text.
It's really fascinating how a prominent thinker, Bediüzzaman, tackles this exact problem. He argues that life is absolutely not a random accident. The quote reads, "Since the universe was created for life, and life is the greatest reflection, the most perfect embroidery, and the most beautiful art of the eternal and everlasting living one." Notice the really vivid language used here in the source. Perfect embroidery, beautiful art. It establishes that life is a deliberate, magnificent masterpiece. And, like any great piece of art, it holds deep, intentional meaning from the artist who made it. So the crucial point here is how this dense philosophy breaks down into 3 highly digestible, logical steps. Step 1, the universe is fundamentally designed to support life. Step 2, life isn't just biology, it is the ultimate art form, a reflection of a higher creator. And step 3, which is the big logical leap, art of this magnitude requires an envoy, an interpreter, to explain its meaning. Just like an abstract painting in a museum often needs a curator to explain the artist's intent to the public, the masterpiece of existence requires someone to explain it to us. According to the source material, this is precisely the role of prophets and sacred texts across human history. Without these envoys, so think of them as the master technicians sent by the manufacturer, and without their guides, the books, functioning as the actual instruction manuals, the profound purpose of this eternal life would just remain completely unknown to us. We'd be stuck merely turning the device on, right? Waking up, eating, working, sleeping, but never actually grasping the ultimate design or the deeper eternal capabilities of our own existence. Existence alone simply isn't enough. The manual and the technician are required. And this brings us to a brilliantly illustrated definition of life presented in the text. Life gets redefined here. It's not merely physical existence. It is a rich, complex text. Imagine being handed a gorgeous, leather-bound book written in a language you have never seen before. The ink on the paper is beautiful, the binding is totally flawless, but without someone who actually knows how to read it to you, a dedicated guide, its hidden meanings remain locked away. The words are just shapes. Life, the source argues, is exactly like that text. It demands an interpreter to reveal its true depth. Section 3. Choosing your own guide, the personal existential choice. Our source material synthesizes this universal human need by pointing directly to a specific verse from the Quran. You are only a warner, and for every people there is a guide. So this need for a user manual and a technician is presented as a universal constant across all societies and epochs. The core argument is that throughout history, humanity has continually been provided with these guides to decipher the complex text of life, basically ensuring no group of people is left staring at the intricate device of existence without a manual.
Which brings us to the final lingering question derived from our explainer today. We've seen the logic. We've explored the metaphor of the complex device, the artwork, and the unread text. Now the question turns to you. Will you attempt to solve life's meaning entirely alone, relying purely on trial and error? Or will you seek out a guide to understand the manufacturer's true intent? And most importantly, why does this choice matter to how you live your life tomorrow? I'll leave you to ponder that. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this material. Until next time, keep learning and keep asking the big questions.